Hi there, this is Mark Schauder with Sotheby's International Realty with another episode of Poway Today. Today I'm here at Poway High School with Mr. Lewis, who is a history teacher here at Poway High.
I am.
Why don't you tell us what you teach?
I teach AP US History and AP Government and Politics.
And
My 20th year at Poway.
I was just going to say, how long have you been teaching?
26 years.
26 years. So
started on the East Coast, came out to San Diego, and then spent the last 20 years as a Titan.
And how is that going here with these Titans?
Oh, I love it here. I mean, to me, it's the perfect environment. I love Poway. I love my students. To be honest with you, I can't even imagine, teaching someplace else. Long time ago, back in 2005, I just got back from Iraq, and after a deployment, and I had the opportunity because I lived in Marietta to go and live up there. But I was like, no, the school district and the board have been super cool to me during my 15-month absence, and I'm like, okay, this is my home.
Nice. What's the best part about being a teacher?
Interacting with the kids and kind of giving them what I consider to be my passion, which is history, and telling stories, because to me it's one of the greatest things in the world, and watching their faces, watch them smile, watch them light up as you're telling about stories, and having them make discoveries for themselves. Because it drives me crazy, you go to a function and you say, hey, how you doing? Like, oh, I'm good. What do you do? And I'm a history teacher. And they kind of back up and they kind of look at you and they go, I hated history in high school. I'm like, that's because you did not have me. Right?
So what's the difference between you, an excellent teacher, and that other teacher?
You know what? I think it boils down to two things. It's subject matter competence and it's passion. Nothing can replace passion, no matter what you do, whether it's real estate, whether you're a doctor, an attorney, or the best ditch digger in the world. It's all about embodying and pursuing your passion and letting that just flow out to them. And once they get into that, throw in some zany antics, and you got them.
So how do you encourage your students and motivate your students to stay in tune, stay in focus with what's going on in the class?
I think that you try and make everything relevant. Everything that you do, every assignment, every lecture, everything else like that, you make it meaningful. You make those connections to their world. You try and keep it fresh in their head. You give them a different perspective. And as your energy level is going, I feed off of their energy. So if they're all sedate, then I start to wind down. But if they're pumped up, well, I'm in there and I'm talking about these things. And that, I think, just really keeps them engaged. And so you make whatever activity that you can within reason engaging and relevant. And I think it's a good recipe for success.
And what changes have you seen in your 26 years as a teacher?
I think kids are kids. I think the average 16-year-old when I started at Poway High in 1999 is very similar, to what I have today. I think technology has made an impact.
Good or bad?
Well, both. Both. When I first started teaching here, I had the overhead projector with the little pins and everything was up there, and it was, messy. And, today we have projectors and PowerPoints and bells and whistles, which I think is extremely important for this generation because that's what they're growing up on and that's what they expect. The bad side of technology is probably cell phones. For the first time last year, I really saw students who had a cell phone addiction. It's on Snapchat, and their Instagram, and they just really Fortnite, whatever it is. And then so finally we came up with a solution, and now we have little cell phone daycare centers for them when they walk in the doors. So.
Also known as a cell phone
jail.
Okay.
Yeah, depending upon your outlook.
So they check them in so they can check into the class.
Yep.
Sounds good. What changes would you like to see in teaching?
Ooh, so if I had the power, I would like to see every teacher at every school in America just extremely passionate about what they do from day one when they walk into the classroom to the end of their 30th or 35th year, whenever they're going to stop. I would like to see some of our curriculum changed. I would like to see us get away from kind of what we're doing now. There's different possibilities, as far as more high tech. Here at Poway High, we have an engineering academy now. We have some visual, so there are things that we're moving towards, but I think that we could probably do a bit better and maybe incorporate some new languages. Why shouldn't we teach Mandarin, or Arabic or Russian, in a worldwide economy?
Right.
So I think that would be part of it.
Are there things that people don't know about you that you want to share?
Oh, wow. that don't know about me. I don't know if I can talk about those kind of things.
Okay. What do you like to do outside of school?
You know, I do a lot of yoga.
Uh-huh.
You know, here in Poway and Forest, I'm a big core power yoga person. Big into music. I love live music, and I'll travel, you know, X amount of distance for live music. And believe it or not, for an old guy my age, I really like punk rock music. So those are the kind of
Probably
shows
what you
that
grew
I
up
would
with,
see.
right?
Yeah, quite a bit,
Uh-huh.
quite a bit. So I'll get out there and mosh with the best of them sometime.
Anything you want to share, you know, with our listening audience?
You know, I just think that, you know, we're lucky to be in this community. We have a good community. You know, we have solid roots. My dentist is a former student of mine in Poway. My doctor is a 1999 Poway High grad. I've run into students from California to New York to Minnesota to Europe, you know, just randomly. And so they're everywhere. You know, so after 20 years in here, I think that this is an amazing place to learn, to grow up, and to be a part of.
Very nice. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. I appreciate your time.
My pleasure, Mark.
This is Mark Schauder from Sotheby's International Realty with another episode of Poway Today.